Moonshine Comedy.
Hi, my name is Benjamin McWilliams.
And I'm Silvio, and welcome for the episode number 14 of Lost in Lithuania.
Still going strong. Number 14, yes. Number 14. So, quick announcement. So, next week, we're not doing the podcast. I know. Sad for the fans, but I will be in Edinburgh.
The fans.
the fans, like the one guy who's watching it, he's like, yes. No. I'll be in Scotland for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. If anyone's in Scotland who's listening to us, they can come check me out. If you write in the comments, I'll post where I'm doing it. I don't even know the venue. This is very, very promising.
Actually, I wanted to ask you if you know the venue, but...
I would have to look it up on my phone, but I don't know it by heart.
So maybe we'll add it here, like if you text me the name of the venue.
I'll do the poster. We're doing it's Rednecks and the City, so it's basically me and another American. She's from Arizona, I'm from Texas, so we're going for that, like, being Texas and Europe.
Southerners. So how long will you stay in Edinburgh?
I'll be there for a week and a half. So.
Okay. So maybe you'll have the chance to send us some videos or something. I'm curious about the...
I'll definitely have to send in some videos. I'm not taking the camera. The camera stays here just because that's too much bulk for me. Ryanair does not let us take anything. I'm just taking a little back, and hopefully they won't be like, pay 200 euros. Yeah, that's... I'm excited though for it. It's... we went to the comedy festival, the outdoor comedy festival. But we already talked about that.
Yeah, this week we decided to do a Q&A actually, because you guys posted some questions in the comments and maybe we didn't have the chance to elaborate them. So that's what we're gonna have right now. A Q&A about Lithuania and Lithuanians. So I'm suggesting to start with a mild one, with actually...
Mild? What do you mean by mild? Does it get spicier?
It gets actually
the
more
level,
complex.
it's like...
Have you guys tried going to mushroom picking?
Yes, I've actually done mushroom picking. I've done mushroom picking in 2 continents.
Okay.
One of them... Oh yeah, this is a real big flex. One of them was actually in Colorado. In southern Colorado, I went for a family reunion and my relatives were mushroom picking. Actually, funny story about that. My mom is not allowed to mushroom pick because one time she grabbed some poisonous mushrooms and her aunt was like, no more mushroom picking for you. That was fun because we were just in the forest, like the reunion was in a forest, so we would just go out our door and be like, oh, mushroom.
Yeah, I did it actually for the first time here in Lithuania, mushroom picking.
Wow.
Yes, and I have second thoughts about it because it's not actually mushroom picking, it's actually mushroom searching.
That's what mushroom picking is. It's searching. You have to search for it.
But if you are not lucky enough, like you end up going on I went to somebody who knew about it, and somehow they were finding more mushrooms than I was finding. And it kind of got me bored at one point that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait in the car. Like,
oh my gosh, you just gave up?
Yeah, and they came back with like buckets of mushrooms. They emptied them in the trunk and then they went back to search for more. For me, it was like, I liked it, and I think I will enjoy it more if they would be like more of them in one place, not to go
you don't like the hiking part. You're like, I don't want to be anywhere walking. I just want the mushrooms there. I pick them up, I go home.
Yeah, like in supermarket, I like to pick mushrooms in the supermarket.
Nah, it was fun because I went with my friend. They have a sodas outside of Kaunas, so we went there, and his brother was mushroom picking, and he told me like, oh, this is good mushroom, this is bad mushrooms. And so, like, at the end of it, I kind of had a hang for it. But it's one of those things where, like, if you don't know what you're looking for, it's very hard to find it.
Yeah. But thank you, Lithuania, for showing me. At least I know one type of mushroom that you can eat. So if I will ever be in the forest in a survival situation and I'm seeing that mushroom.
I don't trust myself mushroom picking in Lithuania. Some people actually eat poisonous mushrooms. they eat it because it's like supposed to be good for them. I'm like, damn, that's not how it works.
They are trying to raise immunity or
Yeah, like
tolerance.
build their immunity, and it's like that seems kind of weird, because when are you gonna get poisoned by mushrooms?
Yeah. Well, it happened actually once in Romania. A woman served for her family some mushrooms that she picked, and they were not good, and some of them died actually.
Yeah, I was actually, one time I went into the forest and I thought I saw what was good mushrooms, so I picked it, and I didn't know if they were good, if they were bad, and while I was waiting for the train, there was some mochute, some old grandma, and I said, "Is this good?" She's like, "No," and then she like went into the forest, came back, and gave me mushrooms.
Oh, that's nice. You was lucky.
Yeah. So mushroom picking, done it, great.
I did it also. Thanks to Lithuania.
You just sat in the car.
Well, I tried it. But I tried actually multiple times. The first time when I tried it, it was funnier because I could find more, basically. So
Yeah, okay, because the mushrooms were right there. There was this big sign that said, "Pick me."
somebody showed me like a map of where the mushrooms.
Yeah, they're gonna grow here, here, here. All right, next one.
So I'm curious what you guys think about Lithuania. Is it a eastern country or a western country or a bit of both?
That's a weird one, because Eastern country. Okay, so
Geographically, obviously, we know that is eastern.
well, do they mean? Because I've lived in the U.S. and I've also lived in China, so that's Eastern to me. When they say Eastern, I'm like, they are not eating with chopsticks.
Yeah, I guess they mean about the European east or west. So
Okay.
because we know, like for example, the eastern are like more to the Russians, or western more to like France.
But maybe it's just like Eastern, Western kind of like ideology as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking also that they mean by it.
And I think I don't know, that's a weird, well, I guess in my opinion, like, is it very like Eastern, like kind of Soviet? I would say not. There's traces of it, but I mean, of course, there's always corruption. You can find corruption everywhere. Some of the roads are a little bit bad, but like, I don't know. Like, it's becoming more modern, and you can especially see the younger generation tend to float towards the western side, I would say.
Yeah, I think I have in the same opinion. Like, yes, Lithuania had this Eastern, let's say, heritage and whatever, but now they are really focused on becoming like Western in ideology. And
yeah. Oh, plus it's a way more modernized. I hate to say, if we're gonna trash talk the U.S. right now, sorry U.S., let me back in when I want to visit. But like, everything's so modern and like really easy to take care of stuff. Like, I'm thinking, for example, like all your taxes. Like, it's easy to fill out the forms, easy to do the taxes. What else is it easy for? Like, even having your ID, like if you need to sign for documents, you can do it on your phone. You have
electronic signature.
Yeah.
Even if for us it's not possible because we are foreigners, but for a Lithuanian citizen, for example, if you're losing your ID, you just enter on the platform, you already have all your information. If your picture is not older than 5 years, then you can go to the next step. You pay with the card and they will deliver it to you on that paštomatas in few days.
Wow.
That's insane. Why is Lithuania so digitalized?
No, it's really...
I love it, but why?
I love how digitalized it is. It's just easier to get things done here. Like, especially, I run a small business, and for me, it's easy to do payments. It's easy to do this, and this.
Yeah.
There's a lot less hassle. Like, if I need to pay someone, it's like, it's all right there. They send me the invoice and I can just easily pay for it.
Yeah, but even
on
for
my
me,
phone.
when I created that individually veikla for stand-up, to receive payments, again, you do everything with your phone. You don't need to go nowhere. You don't need to provide any documents. They already have it in the system. So it's insane sometimes to see how, for me, imagine the cultural shock when I arrived here a few years ago, that you can do, like, from Romania, I learned that you need original document and copy, and like
Yeah.
a file to go with a bunch of documents to authorities. Here, everything with the phone.
Well, yeah, and even getting a job, like, you know, in the U.S., they need the driver's license, they need your social security, and I worked for the government. I actually
Yeah.
worked for the IRS, for the tax people, and now Americans are gonna get some hate. They're gonna hate me now. They're like, you took our money. No, even working for them, you know, it wasn't digitalized. Like I had to go to one office building. I had to present them my social security card and my driver's license, and it was just a longer process. And here it's just like very quick. You know, if you're in the system, it makes it easy. But there's also some challenging stuff with the system as well. Like we have this one comedian from Malaysia. He recently left. We miss him very much. Here's to you, Watson. He doesn't have a last name because in Malaysia they don't have last names.
Okay, so he was not able to enter the system.
Yeah, it took him extra steps to enter the system, and they were like, because they said he doesn't have a last name, and it's like, well, I don't know what to do.
Okay, but you know, like it's a special case. Like probably
Yeah.
the system, the computer requires first name and last name to be filled. So
Yeah.
he could have done, you know what, like to put Watson and the last name to be no name. So in
No
the
name,
documents,
yeah.
he would be like Watson, no name.
No name, that would be really funny.
No
Your name
extra
is
name.
Watson, no name, but it's like because they have to copy the official document onto their system, so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can't just randomly put in things.
Is your name Benjamin or Benjaminas in some systems?
No, just Benjamin. I think
For
there's no
me-
Benjaminas.
For me, sometimes in some documents, I'm Silvius.
Silvius. There might be. I haven't come up with Benjaminas. Just maybe if some people say my name, they're like Benjaminas.
Oh yeah, that is happening.
All right. So any other questions we can answer? For the
Let's
people?
see another one. This is actually from one of our previous podcasts, the one with Raul. So I said, basically Raul was basically, again, he had like a cultural shock that the Lithuanians are kind of cold. So me trying to say a joke, I said that they kind of don't like foreigners. So there's a person who actually wanted to move to Lithuania, but now he was kind of a bit worried about my statement. So do Lithuanians like foreigners would be the question, long story short.
I give it a yes and no. I mean, but this is with every single country, you know. There are a lot of people that are very friendly towards foreigners,
Yeah.
and then a lot of people who aren't necessarily like foreigners as much. And I don't know. It's definitely, yeah. What would you think about it?
I mean, it depends who you meet, basically. Because if you have a nice experience with a foreigner that is helping you, for example, you would like that person, and you will think about, for example, Lithuania, that you people are very welcoming. But if you are like, you remember that there was a clip with this dude, this big YouTuber called Bold and Bankrupt. He came to Lithuania, he enjoyed the country so much, but then he was live, like it was night, he was in a bus, and the Lithuanian guy in his 40s kept on talking to him, like in Lithuanian, and he was not understanding, but people translated, and that guy was saying some nasty things to him, like
Oh, gosh.
insanely nasty thing, shouting into his face, you know, like stuff. So again, it's like a lottery, you know. I would say that yes, Lithuanians are a bit cold, but I would not believe, as long as you don't disturb them in a way, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it's not.
I haven't seen the Bald and Bankrupt clip I've seen some of it, but I didn't see him on the bus. And my question was because Bald and Bankrupt guy, like, he kind of goes in sometimes and tries to start shit.
Oh,
Now,
yeah,
was he on
yeah.
the bus just making a bunch of noise? Then someone's gonna be like, "Hey, be quiet."
Oh
'Cause-
yeah, that might happen. We don't know the
Yeah.
beginning of the movie.
But yeah, we don't know the beginning or what happened, so we can't comment on that. But there are people who hate Americans here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of them.
No, I don't. But I'm thinking like the people that hate Americans are the ones that love and talk good about the communist period. You know.
Yeah.
Because you were kind of the enemies in that era, so they are kind of stuck in that era.
I mean, they did have a whole propaganda campaign blaming Colorado beetles on us. And the only reason why they did that was because it had Colorado, and then Colorado's a state in the U.S.
But actually, it came from when they brought. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know that it arrived in Europe when they were bringing actually corn from America.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it could be
It
like
could be,
I mean, it's. Yeah, it's just like you, especially if you're exporting, importing stuff,
Yeah.
like bugs get there. Like I don't think it was a ploy, but then like what is it, like 20 years later they're like really releasing new data.
okay. So I think this would be like the last question, and this is a bit longer.
Oh gosh.
Can you share your thoughts on the differences between Lithuanians and your people, or if you had any dangerous experiences here, like getting mugged or something like that?
Okay, dangerous experiences.
Yeah.
Never had a dangerous experience here in Lithuania.
I'm not sure if I talked in the podcast about it. Have I ever said about that guy who was telling Raimonda in the bus station not to be with me, basically?
No.
No. So I was in the city center in Vinco Kudirkos here in Vilnius, and there's a guy. We were waiting for the bus. I didn't have the car yet. So there's this guy in his 50s, kind of drunk, starting to talk kind of loud towards my girlfriend. And I'm like, what is he saying? And she did the smartest thing ever. She said, I don't understand what he's saying. He's so drunk. He's talking gibberish. As Lithuanian, I don't understand what he's saying in Lithuanian. It was good. He continued to say some shit. We ignored him. We go home. And then when we arrive home, I'm like, okay, now that we are home, tell me what he was saying. And apparently, judging by my appearance, he was thinking that I'm Turkish. And he was saying word by word to my girlfriend, do not believe him. He's lying to you. He's a Muslim. He will take you to Turkey and you will become his slave. He has multiple wives and you will become one of them, and everything that he's saying is a lie. And I was like, man, it's very good that you didn't translate it.
Oh my god.
That was insane. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah.
Can you imagine what an incel he had to be? Like, to you go to a random couple and you save her. That's what he was doing, but he was saving this poor Lithuanian girl from becoming
nice
the
guy
slave
complex.
Yeah.
No, I would. Okay, so when it comes to that topic, I would say never experienced anything. So never experienced any violence. I would say the biggest difference is the U.S. We're more accustomed to just talking with strangers. Like we're more like friendly in that sense, where we're like, oh, like that you'll just randomly talk to people, and that's perfectly seen as normal.
Yeah, that would be also like a difference between like Lithuanians and Americans, because that was part of the question. Right?
Yeah, because that's a difference between Lithuanians and Americans, is that they're much more talkative. They're much more friendly. They're like, like you'll if you walk, for example, like there's a bunch of hiking trails and parks. If you're walking in the park, and especially if it's like heavily forested, there's not many people, you see someone, you wave and you talk to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that does not happen in Lithuania. Like one time I was hiking in the forest and I saw this lady and I said like Laba diena, and she just looks at me and goes, no.
She took the pepper spray.
Yeah, pepper spray. She's like, shh. It was like this
One
old
more word,
grandma.
one more
She's
word.
like, yeah, one more word. Do not socialize with me. So it's very, but you have more conversations. Even for instance, like at restaurants, the ladies will be a lot more friendly to you. They're like, they'll tell their name. They're like, hi, my name is Cindy. I've been a waiter for this many years. This is da-da-da-da. And just talk with you.
Actually, it happened to me once in
America?
In America, I was with my girlfriend, and there was this city where we were called State Line next to South Lake Tahoe, and we tried to take a picture because there was exactly the border between California and Nevada, you know. So we're asking this random couple to take a picture. Actually, no, she approached us like an exchange, they take a picture of us, we can take a picture of them, very small talk. And they ended up invited us to go to Florida or something to stay in their house. Like, who the fuck does that?
That is the American thing. We'll just be
Yeah.
like, yeah, come to my house. It'll be a lot of fun.
We're going to Florida. Actually, tomorrow in that day we're going to Florida, and they were saying, when you guys will travel, come to our house. They gave us like their number, and I was like, of course we will never do that. We will
No.
never visit those random people that are inviting us to the other side of the country.
In China as well, they'll be like, because they're very friendly, they'll talk with you and they'll be like, oh, come to my house, go over, when you come over here, give me a call.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I spent 5 years in China, it was it's kind of interesting because I have like the full Eastern Chinese experience with culture. And then I have Lithuanian, and then I have America, so I have like a mix.
So now for like the conclusion, where would you put? So you have the Western, you have America, you have the Eastern, China. So where would you put Lithuania? More towards
America.
Yeah.
I have more towards that Western.
I'm thinking I'm having the same impression about Lithuania. Yes, geographically they are close to Russia and whatever, but they are trying to adapt and to become Western, and they are actually doing it more successful than
They're doing it better than America.
And with that,
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so I guess this is gonna conclude our episode for today. Thank you guys so much for enjoying it. If you enjoy it, subscribe to it. If you're here living in Vilnius, you should check out our stand-up comedy. We do an English comedy every single Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday, Bar Pahonia. Thursday is at Flow Bar, and then we now have a Lithuanian open mic, which we do it on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So the English ones start at 8 p.m. and then the Lithuanians start at 7 p.m. But so next week we're not going to do an episode. I'll be in Edinburgh, the Fringe Festival. So maybe when I come back, we'll talk a bit about that and maybe the comedy difference between Lithuania and Scotland. Again, we're
Lost in Lithuania. And thank you for watching.
Yeah, and don't forget Moonshine Comedy as well. So that's also where we post our events as well. We'll do both of them. But yeah, Lost in Lithuania, guys. We'll see you next time.
And remember, Moonshine Comedy Vilnius is the best English comedy group in Lithuania because we are the only ones.
The only one. All right.
Thank you.
Moonshine Comedy.